Modern society treats self-improvement as a final destination, but for many, the pursuit functions like a treadmill, replacing one form of internal chaos with an equally exhausting obsession for control. Tom's journey began with a loss of that control. At age 7, growing up in the Netherlands, his stable world fractured. His parents divorced, financial instability set in, and the predictable baseline of his youth evaporated. As a teenager, he attempted to navigate this instability through the most accessible distractions, partying, seeking fleeting dopamine hits, and using hedonism to numb the underlying lack of direction. But chasing momentary pleasure to avoid pain doesn't resolve the disorder. It merely delays the moment when the lack of a foundation becomes impossible to ignore. Desperate for a change, Tom pivoted from hedonism to the modern secular religion of self-optimization. He adopted a life of strict discipline, cold showers, and constant reading, treating his body like a machine to be tuned. The material results were immediate. He launched a business at 16, reached financial success at 18, and moved to Amsterdam to chase the highest levels of hustle culture. Yet, even at the peak of his success, his structure collapsed. Despite the luxury and the surface-level control over his habits, he realized that optimizing purely for wealth left a profound spiritual vacuum. This experience mirrored the description found in Surah al-Hadid. The life of this world is only amusement and diversion, and adornment and boasting to one another, and competition and increase of wealth and children. Treating yourself as a biological asset to be optimized for profit is a hollow pursuit. Eventually, you run out of things to upgrade, and the soul remains hungry. While Tom was distancing himself from his old habits, he noticed a stark difference in the friends who remained, his Muslim peers. While everyone else was following their desires, these friends abstained from alcohol, woke early for prayer, and spent their breaks discussing the deeper meaning of life. Their families operated with a structure he hadn't seen before. Instead of the disrespect and broken dynamics common in his hometown, there was a deep-seated, disciplined respect for their parents and siblings. It became clear that while modern society views religious rules as a restriction on freedom, these boundaries were actually the essential architecture required to produce genuine peace and brotherhood. This observation of human behavior eventually led Tom to look at the physical universe. We are floating on a planet within a cosmos of unfathomable scale, where every star and galaxy moves with mathematical precision. This macro order is mirrored at the micro level. Inside our own bodies, millions of cells, like these neurons, function in a seamless, complex network, processing reality without us having to manage a single variable. If a simple machine requires an engineer, then a physical universe governed by such consistent laws suggests an intentional designer. The Quran points to this in Surah Al-Imran. Indeed, in the creation of the heavens and the earth and the alternation of the night and the day are signs for those of understanding. If the stars and our own cells follow a precise code to avoid chaos, it suggests that human life is not an exception. If the physical hardware of the universe has laws, the spiritual software likely does as well, and our task is to find the manual. By age 22, the logical consistency became undeniable. Tom realized that every time he asked a critical question about how a society or a man should function, the answers were already waiting for him in Islam. His entire perspective on self-improvement flipped. He transitioned from trying to be the owner of his life, a pursuit that only led to anxiety, to becoming a servant of a higher purpose. His daily routine was re-engineered. Business meetings and revenue goals were no longer the primary anchors. Instead, his entire day was restructured around the 5 daily prayers. This internal change was confirmed during Umrah. Standing among millions moving in unified tawaf, he saw the ultimate expression of a global structure of submission. Control isn't gained by dictating your own rules, but by aligning your schedule with the divine framework already set for you. Tom eventually moved to the UAE, a place that represents the literal peak of modern luxury and worldly success. But he didn't move there for the flashy supercar lifestyle of the city center. Instead, he used his success to buy back his time, stepping away from the noise to pursue deep Islamic knowledge. He now lives quietly by a lagoon, dedicating his energy to studying Arabic and connecting with the Quran, a stark contrast to the frantic hustle of his younger years. This peace is rooted in the promise of Surah Al-Ra'd, "Verily, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest." Tom's journey shows that the ultimate form of self-improvement isn't about becoming your own master. It's about having the discipline to finally do exactly what you were created for.